Hello everyone and welcome to this tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to master the Pathfinder tools. All the ones that you see right here. We're just going to go through what every single one of them does, how to use them, and some little tips and tricks around them, especially containing regarding the Pathfinder options. So let's get started. So we're going to start here right at the left hand side. This is our Unite tool. And before we get into it, we're going to click on this little menu right here, and we're going to go to Pathfinder Options. This is something not many people really do. And we'll see that here we have a precision, which is by default 0.028 points. You can change this down to 0.1. That just makes it a bit more precise when you have very complex big figures. For most of the stuff that you do, it doesn't matter so much. Sometimes you'll see there will be a fine line after you make shape or so. Clicking on this and fixing that, or changing this to 0.001 will fix that. The other thing here is we have a box that says remove redundant points. I'll show you what that does right now. So I'm going to use the Unite tool. And if we select our shape right here and we go to Unite, what it's going to do, it's going to create one shape that follows the confines of this entire shape. So if we hit Unite, it goes like that. And it's always going to take the color of the object in front. So if we move over here, it will make the star shape and red in front. Okay, now right here, we have another object. It's just two boxes. And if I unite this right now, what will happen is that we have two extra little silly anchor points sitting in space. We don't need them. So I'm going to Control Z, and we're going to go back to that little menu in Pathfinder Options, and we're going to click on Remove Redundant Points. Okay, and now when I unite this, we see those points disappear. So it's a good practice just to have that checked off. These settings don't necessarily save, so each time you load Illustrator, you might have to do it again. Okay, so the next thing, you can go right here, we'll go Unite, and we'll make two shapes, because whenever you have open shapes like this, you have to imagine that there is a fill that looks like this. So it's basically a square, so it just closes both squares. And right here, if we unite this, it makes it into a box. Minus front, pretty darn simple. You have the shape in the background and you cut away the front. And you keep the color of the original shape, like that. So this is in the back, the red in the front, do it like that. If we make it on these figures right here, let me see, it doesn't really do the right options that you expect. That's because this object right here is probably in the back and this one here is in the front. If we put this like this, if we click on this one and go to minus front, well, we see that this object right here was in the front. Next, we go to Intersect. Intersect takes the middle of both of these tools, of both of these shapes, like that, and always with the color in front. So here we're gonna get this blue area right there. Like so. If we try to intersect two shapes like that, we'll see it doesn't work because they have to be overlapping. So if we intersect these open shapes right here, we're going to get that little middle piece. Pretty darn easy. Now Exclude does the opposite. So now it's going to get rid of that middle piece that we see right there. And it will acquire the color of the object in the front. So if we click on this, we're just going to get a bunch of little triangles because this is the common area. Go to Exclude, there you go. And it takes the color which is on front. Again, if we run it here, it will break it into two boxes. It's not exactly what you're looking for. And if we try this, it should get rid of this middle area. Let's see, and it does. It makes it into two little boxes. Divide is a really handy feature. So you have the shape, but let's say you want to modify these little triangles. You want to keep all the same colors. If we select that and go divide, well, suddenly we break it into multiple little shapes. And if we click on it, right click and go ungroup, we can move these individual shapes, like so. So, pretty useful. Same deal with this right here. Go divide, right click, ungroup. Well, now we can move this shape, oops. Now we can move the shape away, like so. Divide on that, shouldn't work, exactly. Divide on this, also shouldn't work. because for divide you need to have filled shapes. Or you need to have closed shapes, sorry. So right here, if we go divide, it does some funny stuff. It cuts the lines out right here. So we now have broken our shape into little triangles in this middle. And the reason that the original fill went away is because in Pathfinder Options, we checked off here, divide and outline will remove unpainted outward. If we uncheck that, go OK, and now go divide, you see that original shape stays there. Now we have two tools that are kind of curious. We have trim and we have merge. Trim, when we select it like so. So this is one box, another little box on top of it, and then another box at the back. We go to trim here, put together, and we now have an outline of this box and that. Okay. Now if we ungroup this, we see that we can move this little box away, and there's a little hole there in that gap. Okay. We trim here. Now this is in front, and we can move away this bottom shape like so. All right. I don't believe trim should work on these. No. And trim on this doesn't work. It need to be close shapes. Now merge, if you do it, on first glance it looks like it does the exact same thing as trim. But there's one small difference. In merge, if we ungroup this, we see that this little box has merged with this one because it was the same, it had the same properties, the same color and the same stroke. So in this one we can move it away. And this one, we can't. It's a minor difference, might come in handy. Once again, running the merge, does like that. Okay, then we have crop and outline. Crop, you use the front shape to crop out the back one right there. So we have right here. So we keep our original back color and we use the front shape to crop it, and we get rid of any outlines. So on here, this is sitting in the back, we use the front to crop. It should create a blue triangle right there. And it does. Outline creates an outline of what you're working with. So when you click it, you're not going to see anything happen. So you can actually just apply a stroke afterwards, and you see that your shapes are actually still there. They just had a stroke of 0. And it uses the front shape right here and converts all the lines in there to that color now. And if we ungroup this, we basically have a selection of individual lines. Like so. Same deal if it doesn't have a stroke, it does the same method. Except now, since the red square was in front, the lines in here have become red. And the last little bit, that's the minus back. And that's a pretty simple maneuver too. We have this figure in the back. Oops. We have this figure in the back. We click it. If we go minus the back, we see that we use the back as a crop on the front. So we're going to be here with a red square, and we're going to get this area cut out. Go look at that. And there we have it. Now one last little thing I'm just going to show you quickly. Say we have a square and another square put together like that. You see right here we have the expand tool, but it's almost always grayed out, and that's kind of curious. If we click on this and hold Alt and then press one of our shape modes, so for instance unite, what will happen is that we've now united the shape, but it's not united anymore. Okay? So it's not, we haven't expanded the appearance. So if we select it now, we can go expand and see now it's all one shape. That's why it's always grayed out. So if you don't want it to expand naturally, just hold Alt and click on one of these tools right there. So there you have it. Super simple, great to use. I haven't gone over the trap functionality here because that's a different tool, but hopefully this is enough to make you feel comfortable with any of these tools in any future projects. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please comment, like, subscribe, check out our other videos, and of course, as always, have a great day.